Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday. It's time for PoliTarology again. And tonight I have a very special guest with me. Of course, I have my sister Cleo. Whoops, she's on that side. I have my sister Cleo, but I have, for the first time, Kathy Biehle, the professional Aquarian, who is also, her website is Empowerment Unlimited. And so welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. And Kathy, we'll start with you if you want to just say hello and tell us what you're about and everything, because you're new.
Hi, everyone. I have been an astrologer for decades. I have a background as a lawyer and a writer and a performer. And my tagline for my astrology is astrology you can use. I like to look at how things in the sky are actually playing out down here on the ground. And I have weekly, monthly, new and full moon forecasts at my site, which is empowermentunlimited.net, like safety net, and my YouTube channel, which is Professional Aquarian. Thank you. And I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really going to be fun. And Cleo, thank you for coming. I know this was a little bit short notice for us because, what we're doing for 2025 is our scheduled PoliTarology is just once a month, but I have all these Fridays free and I just don't know what to do with them. So I'm having kind of fun scheduling things on the fly. But how are you doing today?
Well, I mean, the fact is we got a very important few days coming up. So I'm definitely, I was figuring I was going to do a show today, no matter what, with somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on and I'm doing great. And like I said, a lot of the shows that I've been on have been kind of done. Now we're just doing once a month for certain things. So I will be doing more of my own shows, but right now I am focused on what is happening in politics in America.
Yeah, politics in America, indeed. So I think we're going to kind of start out with that first question that I mentioned backstage. And I know everybody has been reading on this to death, but it feels like the energy changes almost daily on this stuff. So I think it just doesn't hurt to rehash it. And this is kind of a two-parter. So the first part of the question is, what is really going to go down with the inauguration? And why isn't Biden moving out? I don't see any signs of him leaving. And that's kind of curious. So that's the first thing. Inauguration, what's going on with Biden, not moving out, whatever. So that's what we're going to read on. And while we do that, I'm going to take a look at our starred comments and see if our illustrious chatters have any things that they want to comment on. I always feel like I need the Jeopardy music right here while everybody shuffles. I really have to download that. Okay. Thanks, Sherry. But while we're waiting, Sherry, but do you see it's a little odd we don't see a starred section? Is that just because we don't have any starred? That's weird. Here, I'll star you and see if that... Yeah, it's just because we don't have any starred. Okay. All right.
Okay, so now what's exactly the question again?
What is really going to go on with the inauguration? And one of the kind of secondary questions is, why isn't Biden getting ready to move out? Nobody's shown any pictures of like moving vans or boxes or anything. I just heard, the only thing I really heard that it was non-Biden at the White House was that the staff is just in a deep depression. That's all I've heard.
Well, I haven't. If I'm looking at it right now, I see him definitely moving out. I mean, his thing is up January 20th at noon. He's done. And so, he'll be moving out. But it's who's moving in that's the question. Maybe they don't need to move too much stuff because maybe they don't have anybody moving in right away. The inauguration.
So my intuitive hit about this has been that at the seemingly last minute, like perhaps on Sunday, maybe if initially I had the sense that something going on with this rally was going to precipitate violence that led to police action, that led to something being stalled. With the weather, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think there's something with NATO's strikes against Russia that could be playing a role. There is a weapon related element to whatever, and I don't see the inauguration happening.
Okay. Cleo, did you have more to say about the
Well,
inauguration?
I'm thinking there's a delay in the inauguration.
Delay of like a couple minutes, an hour, or a delay like
at least a
it's
day.
postponed?
I've always seen when it comes to Trump a blank space in this get together, and it's I just see him in shadow, so I don't know what that means. On the other hand, I mean, it could go through, but I don't really. Okay, I've been told it will not go through, but I'm not buying it because I see all the stuff on the news and everything, and I'm thinking, well, what is happening? And Spirit won't tell me exactly what is happening because they said I'll never get it, and that it'll be a big surprise, that people would be shocked the way things go. And then getting back to that rally on the 19th, I do see a bunch of violence and infighting, and something goes haywire there. Now, I don't know if that's what affects the inauguration. I'm just not sure, but I did see that Trump is saying that the inauguration has been moved indoors. So that because it's going to be so cold out. So that kind of changed my thing about Mar-a-Lago, because for the longest time, I just kept seeing stuff happening in Mar-a-Lago, but, maybe not, maybe right up in Washington, D.C. And I think it's the, and wherever they're holding that rally at, there's really some stuff going on there that's crazy. But the inauguration, I don't see it happening either. But what I do see is that when Biden steps away, when he's done with his job at noon on the 20th, he puts Kamala in there because there's nobody else because the person that's supposed to be inaugurated is not there. It's a blank space. So that's kind of what I'm saying, is that, he puts her in there. That doesn't necessarily, that makes her acting president at that point in time, because you have to have a president. And for some reason, the other guy that's supposed to be in, what we've heard is elected, the elected president is not there, and it just doesn't happen. But I don't know why.
Wow.
May I elaborate on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, two things. First off, we've got dual reality tracks running. It feels like we've got mainstream media and most of society and Trump and company acting as if he's going to have this, although they look really uncomfortable. And then we have Biden and Harris and the Democrats in array, as they've been saying, just locks acting as if. And I think both sides are acting as if, and that neither side is acting according to what's really going on. But the second part of it is, this weekend we have astrologically an echo of something that happened on July 21st, which is the date that Biden broke his silence. He kept saying, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving. And then suddenly, wham, he said he was leaving, and he handed it over to Kamala. The moon was at 29 degrees Capricorn. It was full, and it was conjunct Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. Those two, to me, formed a bridge between the old power structure and the new way of doing things. And this weekend, the sun will be at 29 degrees Capricorn, and Pluto, it'll be a little earlier. It'll be a little further, and it'll be at 1, but it'll be the same kind of vibe. And Biden is known twice already. He has done something to slip something in on a Sunday that changed things. It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, these cards are really kind of cattywampus, and I'm not getting a super clear picture about what's going on. But the first card that I get is the 6 of Cups. So it's reverberating to something in the past, something that we've seen before or that they want to have happen. They want to bring forward. But I do get the Ace of Pentacles, and I feel like, yeah, you're right, Cleo, that Joe Biden is definitely going to step out, and they're going to have somebody sit in that chair. They have to have somebody sit in that chair. It's probably going to be Kamala. There's Two of Cups comes up. That's a deal, a relationship, a pact, a reciprocation of some kind. They've worked this out ahead of time. They know. But then I get the Page of Pentacles reversed. So that's why this is so cattywampus. It's all very, very tenuous. It's all very much like not everybody is in the know. Not everybody, even among the Democrats that are around the White House, I don't think like to a man, they all know the plan. I think there's like 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 people that know the plan. And all the other people around supporting them sort of know literally concepts of a plan. They literally don't know what's really going on. The final card I get is the Nine of Pentacles. So I do feel that represents structure, holding stability, not making things crazy, just making some kind of a decision that just holds things down. The image that I'm seeing is like pounding the stakes into a tent to hold it down so that it doesn't blow away, because this is so flimsy. Yeah, and it is a circus. It is a circus. And I do feel that whatever happens on the 19th has a great deal to do with what happens on the 20th.
I agree.
So let's read on that. Let's read on the 19th. Let's see what's going on.
While you're reading on that, the other thing is that this thing about Kamala filling in as acting president, that is part of the Constitution. I think it's the 20th Amendment that says if the person that's supposed to be there, that we think is going to be there, like Trump, if he's not there, it's automatic. I think it goes to Kamala first, and then probably the Speaker of the House or something. I don't know. They've got this list.
Yeah, right. They've got
Kamala is the first in line. We know that's who's going to be it.
Right.
But this thing on the 19th, this rally is it's just crazy making stuff. I mean, it's just chaotic, fighting, yelling. I think I see somebody with a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just out of hand. And I don't know if it's because Trump's finally getting the picture that something's coming down. Does he know about NATO? Does he know about he knows what he's done wrong. Does he think he's finally getting busted?
He knows that NATO knows stuff. He knows that, because I firmly believe that they tried to force him to step aside. They tried to make a deal with him and he refused. I fully 100% believe that.
Wow.
Sorry, my cards are all.
That matches the lip reading of
Right.
the conversation that Obama had with Trump at Carter's funeral.
Yeah.
Still, with all this, my sense is there has to be a foreign intelligence piece that plays into this, because otherwise it will look like the Democrats are just seizing power. I don't have the sense that that's the way this plays out.
No, I don't either.
No, and there's all this noise. I mean, the G7 issued a statement today about Russian intelligence, about Russia interfering with all kinds of disinformation. It came out today.
Yes. And yesterday, Poland's thing, I can't even remember what it was they were accusing Russia of, but Poland came out with something about Russia.
A plot to blow up planes globally.
Yes, that was it. Sorry, I hope that didn't make a big noise for everybody's ear. I just hit my mic. So now we've got Poland, we've got Romania, we've got Georgia, we've got just a whole handful of countries, a lot of them NATO countries, that are accusing and have proof that Big R did a bunch of shit to them. And that's not right. And I do feel like they're edging very, very close to an Article 5 agreement among the NATO countries. And maybe that's what comes out. Maybe that comes out tomorrow or Sunday or Monday.
And Article 5 meaning what?
That all the NATO countries have to go to war because they have determined that there have been acts of war against one or more of NATO countries.
And I still, yeah, the thing about war, I keep getting that, and I don't really know how that fits in, but I keep hearing war.
So do I.
And NATO has said that they are redefining some of their guidelines or rules or policies or whatever, because lots of things mean war. I think I heard Ruda literally say that in one of his speeches. You know, war isn't just hand grenades and rifles anymore. War is a lot of things. And so they redefined a lot of their coda to say, we're going to include all of this as, and consider that all of these things could be acts of war. So there you go. And while we're on this happy topic, as the host of this show, I'd just like to say that this is for entertainment only.
So what I get about when I put cards down for Sunday, I get things going wildly out of control. That, I mean, there could be drunkenness, there could be craziness, who knows what. And where it lands is Queen of Pentacles, a really stabilizing woman somehow. Now, I don't know. I don't remember Avril Haines' chart.
She's a Virgo.
She's a Virgo.
That's her card.
I honestly sense that something's going to go so over the top that it opens the door. It like almost demands.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what Cleo and I have felt like since November 7th, that the steps that they're going to take are not going to be steps that they want to take, but that they are literally by being bound by their duty of their offices to take. Many people, Ruta, Biden, Haynes, all of them have to take it. There's no way out of it.
Yeah, the evidence is right there, and they have that evidence. And I know that the Republicans at first they just go bonkers about what's going on with their king, but in the end, when they see the evidence, they back off. Because for one thing, many of them are in the same boat because they've supported Trump the entire time. Mm-hmm. And Trump has done some very, very bad things. I mean, he's really screwed the pooch.
And something else that I feel is going to be really, really hard for the American public over this weekend is that as soon as droplets of this crazy NATO Article 5, everybody's saying, uh-oh, it's going to be a war, yada, yada. Our media is owned pretty much by the MAGAs, but our social media and big players are owned by Trump, literally. And I feel that the people who work for the media are also being squeezed extra hard. I heard today that most of the big hosts on MSNBC are being forced to take very big pay cuts. And they literally were told, take the pay cut or you're out. So for them to have that kind of pressure, because they don't like that MSNBC hosts have all of a sudden been saying some truth. If you notice, they've been talking like they used to talk. Well, that ends, I think, today. I don't think we're going to hear that anymore. I don't know what Rachel Maddow is going to do, but I don't think she's going to be doing no more public servant announcements. I don't think that's going on. She took a big pay cut. I mean, it's not going to hurt her in the bank account, but still, it's the warning that
she also said she's going to be on every day for the next probably through the end of the month.
Okay, well, that's good that they're going to have that coverage, but be prepared that a lot of what you're going to hear in the news, I believe, is probably not going to be the full truth.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do.
There's going to be just little glimmers, but not the full truth at all. Not at all.
No.
Okay, I didn't lay my cards down for this other
That's
thing.
why I'm thinking the stuff that's going to happen on the 19th with this victory rally or whatever it's called is we're not going to hear it all the stuff, but God, I'm hoping a lot of stuff leaks out, because I think it's just going to be like, they did what to who, what's going on there? You know, and then somebody else was talking about there's going to be fire somewhere. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but you know.
Well, there's a lot of fire energy astrologically, but I'll just talk about my cards very briefly. There's a lot of fire energy. It's almost all wands. It's almost all wands, plus the Tower, Strength, Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Wands, and, drumroll please, the Seven of Swords, which means stealing. So, you know, there's a lot of fighting, a lot of chaos, a lot of, you know, I got the Sun on top of the Tower. So a lot of truths are going to be revealed in a very dramatic and possibly violent way. That doesn't sound like a fun rally to me.
No, I see a lot of violence in that rally. A lot of violence.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know originally people were talking about the Women's March going over the entire weekend and up to the day of the inauguration. I think they pulled that back and it's just going to be Saturday. I really hope so, because I don't want them getting hurt. You know, that's
well, and also the weather's going to be really brutal. So
yeah.
That will limit, you know, some people just won't feel up to going out in sub freezing temperatures and marching. But then again, you never know. Some women are pissed. There could be a lot of them out there.
Because this is a war on women. I mean, you know, that's how I feel. It's just like every friggin' thing that you can possibly think of to subvert women's rights and our voices, not to mention not let us have control over our bodies, you're doing. So, no, I've heard about this shit since I was 10 years old. I remember being in elementary school and a bunch of us, we all linked arms and we walked around the playground going, make abortion legal, make abortion legal. We were 10. And it did come legal, but not till we graduated high school, you know, 12 years later, then it finally got there.
Did you see what Biden wants to do with the Constitution in regards to the ERA?
Yes, and I, you know, too bad
that he can't do that, but I still love it that he put it out there.
He doesn't do anything. If it was normal times, it would just be, oh, it's ratified. Okay, yeah, let's go. So what do you think about this, Kathy? You sent that to me this afternoon. So what do you think?
Oh, and the archivist immediately said, no, it's not the way it works. So I mean, it was an important volley. It was a very important volley, and it's the sort of thing that this falls into the category of yet another thing being launched late in the game that is so contrary to what another type of administration would do. I mean, the SEC filing suit against Musk, all kinds of actions being taken that you would think would be immediately undone, but they're being followed through on. I don't know, maybe I'm being Pollyanna here, but it seems to me there's something else going on.
Yeah, there is. And he's not even inaugurated yet. That's the really frightening thing. But that's why I think I got to believe that somebody is going to try to stop that, because
Well, I'm saying, why would this administration be taking all of these futile actions if they were just going to get undone immediately? I think it's way beyond a symbolic act. It's teeing something up. And if you'll notice, in the last 2 weeks, the White House media office has been flooding its YouTube channel and social media platforms with really short videos about all kinds of things that have been accomplished, and many of them have Kamala front and center in them. Now, Obama's administration didn't do this when he was leaving. I don't know. It's just.
But I did find, I think it was Occupy Democrat. Is that it? Or Democracy Occupy? Anyway, they did a post. They did a post that was a repost of something that Obama posted. I don't know where Obama posted it, but he posted a short thing that just said all of, encapsulated a bullet list of all of Joe Biden's biggest accomplishments. I was just like, nice one, Barack. Thank you. You know, like you're right. Why would they put all those things out? And why would they start all those things if they weren't going to go anywhere? Or if they didn't think things were going to go anywhere? So I go back to my breadcrumbs, even at the DNC Christmas thing where Biden turns to Kamala and says, "You're not going anywhere, kid." And then didn't he say, "And neither am I," or something?
Yes.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm like, wait, what? You're not going anywhere? Okay, I like that, but can you do that? You know, so what do we think? Do we think that there is what is the 28th Amendment? Is that the ERA? No, would that be the ERA?
I don't know.
I'll Google it. Yeah,
the ERA would be the 28th.
Yeah, it's the ERA. Yeah, would be the 28th Amendment. I wanted to look at I don't know. What do we want to look at next? I lost my train of thought. So, do you want to look at the Harris and Biden energy?
Yeah.
Look at each one. So let's look at Biden's energy first. God, he's been busy lately.
Fighting Irish is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Fighting Irish.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that interview with Lawrence O'Donnell?
No, I love Lawrence.
It was very nice.
I do think that Biden, I mean, his energy, everybody thinks he's got such low energy because he's so old and stuff. And yes, he does screw up some things when he's talking. But then sometimes when he's talking, he's just clear as a bell. And I'm thinking, okay, I really think that part of what he's doing is he knows that some of the stuff he's coming up with is probably not going to go through, but he doesn't really care. This is the things that he thinks should have happened because, you know, he's a humanitarian. He's an honest, religious person that is concerned about the public and not, you know, that's why he told everybody, this is an oligarchy. This is what's going on. Pay attention here. And then we see all these clips of Bernie Sanders going back to the 90s, talking about this is what's going to happen. And now here we are, here it is. And nobody paid much attention to it. You know, and others are saying, you know, why didn't he bring it up before, you know, when Harris was running or something? I don't know why. The things just happened the way they did. And, but I see his energy as being, he is totally energized. He might be a little bit tired, but he is just up for the challenge. This is the last one. This is the end of his career. He will do anything and everything he can to prevent Trump from being inaugurated, but you won't see him personally doing it because it's, you know, it's got to go through channels, and it would be those channels that will be doing the work. But he wants more than anything not to have him do this, because once he's in there, do we ever get him out?
It'll be hard. It's like getting rid of cockroaches, you know, they just keep coming.
And I think that, yeah. And so, yeah, I do think that he is up for the fight.
Yeah.
I also think, though, that both him and Harris are a little bit, with the news that they've received from different countries and from NATO and, you know, the intel they've received, I think makes them feel really sad that this is, you know, that half the country has voted in this person that is out to destroy us. And that, you know, it's just, it's historical, and they're going to try to do something about it. But I see that they are a little bit sad about it, because you just, you know, you're the positions they're in. This is just not what you want. On the other hand, are they going to let it pass? Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
This is a war, and they're, you know, I think they're both up for it. And I think that Kamala at this point is like the little Energizer bunny. I mean, any little info that Biden needs, she's right there with it. And Yeah, she's gung ho about this.
My cards indicate that Biden's working his butt off. He's not taking any downtime until this gets worked out. And in fact, it feels like he's been on 24/7 for several months at this point. Now, we have, in a sense, and haven't we been exhausted? And just think of what that man has been doing. He is so undervalued in my thinking.
Yes.
So undervalued. And I get that he's like pissed AF. There we go. I'll just put it that way. Because I get the 5 of Swords over him. Like, no. This is unfair.
Yeah. I get that he is, well, the first card that comes up from him is Justice, and the final card for him was Judgment. And that's where he's at. He's not going to let this stand. I have the King of Swords in here too. I think that's Kamala. I think she's gone from the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords. She's just like, this is my bailiwick now. I know how to do this. I know how to prosecute people. I know how to keep track of the facts of a case. And I know how to gather a fantastic goddamn team. And that's what I'm doing. She is like not sleeping. She's probably sleeping, but she's not letting any grass grow under her feet. But she's also having to pretend that, she's the outgoing VP. And, it's very interesting, the layers that she's having to put up with.
Don't you get the feeling that both of them are doing what they're doing, but they're also acting?
Yeah. Exactly.
To just go right along and they want Trump to just keep doing the weird stuff he's doing and just keep adding to the mess. And they're letting him shoot himself in the foot, basically.
Yeah, but this is a very dangerous game. This is really Russian roulette that they're playing. I mean, it's very, very dangerous, extremely dangerous. And I know that because it's that dangerous, and because T-Rump has to have a pretty good idea of everything, and I know they talked to him about a deal, and I feel like ever since the first thing came out, and I can't remember what the very first thing was that came out after the election, but ever since then, I feel like they've been under constant death threats, and not ones where they send you a little note and say, hey, watch your back. Things like the almost assassin shows up at their house, really bad death threats, really bad. So this has been a very dangerous situation for them. So I know that their security is beefed up. And I know that every time NATO makes a move, just takes one step, even when they went to Germany, that shifts things in Washington. That shifts things for the Secret Service and for Kamala and for Biden. It's just been a horror show for them to get through every day. And yet they have to focus their brains. That's why Kamala is built for this, because, she had this kind of pressure when she was prosecuting the cartels. She knows how to do this. And, Biden hasn't practiced law in a very long time. So for him, it's more the political realities of things. And for her, it's more the legal realities of things. But together, they're a pretty formidable team. Very formidable. So what was that question? That was about
Biden's energy.
Yeah. So we really focused on Biden. Do we need to focus on Kamala, or did we get her?
Well, my cards for her are kind of weird. I don't usually like reversals, but for some reason I've got them. I've got the 9 of Pentacles reversed and Death coming up. I don't know. And then there's because I put a second layer, and then the 10 of Wands and the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles is I'm not going anywhere. So
I'll tell you, to put some perspective on that Death card, I feel that this is like when the blacksmith or the silversmith is tempering a sword and takes that red hot sword and sticks it in the water and all the steam comes off of it. She's living that since November 5th. Every day she's just like, oh, another one. This is really she's up for it though. It's hard. It's probably the hardest thing she'll ever do in her life. And she's up for it, but it's hard. And that's going to take a toll. You notice she's lost a lot of weight. She's lost a lot of weight this last couple of months.
No, I didn't notice that.
I did. Yeah.
She's lost weight. I feel like she's ready and has been from the beginning. And with all this intel that has come in, they know that they can't just hand it to Trump and walk away. They just can't do that.
They can't. You're right. They just can't.
And I will not be surprised. I'm so sorry. I will not be surprised if part of the shocking news that comes out is documentation of an agreement to basically hand the United States over.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
I see money being exchanged for those documents and for that information, and a lot of money. And I think that's part of the reason they're going to get busted, is because of the money that exchange. And we're talking about we're talking about the our country, and lots of money. This whole thing is centered around lots and lots of money, and that's why they can do it, because they've got the money. So they're really buying into the presidency and buying in to control the country. And it's just, I don't see that that Biden and Harris will allow that.
Or the rest of the world. Why do you think NATO has been so active lately? Because if our country goes that way, Europe is next. It's like dominoes. It's like, what could stop? Like, no.
Well, what's the point? I mean, Europe can't. I mean, if the United States is humongous. If United States went that way, what difference would it make which way Europe went? None. It just wouldn't make any difference at all. Because if it was the United States owned by Russia, then doesn't Russia just like take a broom and sweep over Europe and boom, they own it? Yes,
exactly.
That's what they do. There's no point. So this has to be stopped. It has to be stopped. And I think that Rutte is he's excellent. He's excellent. I've been watching him. This guy, he's a Leo, smart as a whip, very well spoken. He's an Aquarian. Oh, he's an Aquarian.
February 14th.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's an Aquarian.
25-degree Aquarius sun, which is on the U.S. moon. Out of his chart fits with ours.
Does he have anything Leo, or am I just thinking of somebody completely different?
Maybe I had his chart earlier.
I could pull up. I could pull up the chart.
I looked at it earlier today. Wait a minute. It must be in the track. No, I have Donald Tusk's chart here instead.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did a political collaboration earlier today. Anyway, he's got lots of contacts with our country.
Yeah, he does. Why did I get Leo? Who was Leo? Somebody. Oh, Stupid Vance, I think, is Leo.
Well, what I've been saying consistently while you're looking is that there are many, many interests globally, not just within the United States. And some of the billionaire class in the U.S. also falls in this category. There are many, many interests that have a stake in the U.S. not going that way.
Yeah. And what's the deal with, like, I get Zuckerberg. I get why he would bend the knee. And I think that Zuckerberg is actually going to be in trouble legally for things that he's done. I just get this feeling that he's like just at the end of the golden goose train. Everybody's touching the golden goose. There's like 50 people. Like he's the last guy, but he's going to get smeared. He's going to get screwed in this whole thing because I don't know. He's so bad at communicating. I can't believe he runs a social media empire because he's so bad at communicating. But why? Why did he just have to come out and make this big speech about how we're not going to have fact checkers anymore?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Why not just like post it somewhere? It was such a bad PR thing. Why did he have to actually talk? And he looked like crap when he was talking. I know he's going through a divorce, but Come on, dude, put on like a polo shirt at least. He just had like a rumply black t-shirt on. Like, it was just a bad moment for him. I was just like, is this your hostage video? Are you like,
Oh,
move your eyes right and left and let us know that you're being forced to do this? That's what it reminded me of. Because he really didn't seem like a tech billionaire. Didn't seem like he had his act together at all. Didn't seem like he wanted to be doing this. And it was poorly done and poorly communicated. So I don't know, maybe a hostage video. He's still going to get screwed legally. Still.
But I think, all the stuff he was doing along with Bezos, along with the TikTok guy, that little group of multi-billionaires or whatever they are, that they're just, they're kissing up to Trump because they know that he has the power to ruin them.
No, they're not going willingly. They're being forced to go. He's already started the process of ruining them. They're trying to find their way back. Because remember, these guys are all egomaniacs too. They're rich as Croesus. They all feel like they can buy their way out of anything. But something that Trump has done has caused them to feel otherwise. Or maybe it's Musk that's done it. Something one of those guys has done has made them feel like they really don't have any other choice. I'm telling you, hostage video. I don't really think this was Mark Zuckerberg's choice. That's
what a dumb thing to do. They're not going to check. What is that? How did he make? I don't even know that was a good thing for. Was he just saying that say anything you want about Trump because we're not going to fact check it, or
anything? They're not going to fact check anything. If MAGAs want to come out and say that Pam Bondi or what's her name? Is it Pam Bondi? That Pam Bondi now has the power to just, set up investigations about anybody who was ever in the Biden administration or the Obama administration. She can just do it. Nobody would go back and say, hey, wait, I don't think that that's really right. I think you should have evidence first or whatever. No, nobody will say that. Nobody will go after it and look at it, right? Everybody will just go, yeah, oh, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, no fact checking. Or if somebody comes out with a diet, supplement that actually hurts you, but they say that it makes you have, thick, healthy hair and turns your eyes blue and makes you skinny, nobody's going to question that. They can just put that out there. So maybe that's good for us. Maybe we can just go ahead and say whatever the hell we want about anybody on Meta, although I think I'm dropping Meta. I'm trying to figure out what I need it for, if there's any connections I need it for, but I'm getting off of it because I don't think I really need it. Anyway, all right. So what else do we want to talk about here? Wow, we have 1,320 people in the room.
So just for fun, just do a quickie on will JD Vance be vice president? And I know we're all thinking that no, he won't, but I just want to see what the cards say. Which, by the way, I'm not really a card reader, although I'm trying to get into that a little bit. I do oracle cards a little bit, but I don't do tarot, and I'm trying to do that.
I'm using a very strange deck from Germany that is not available in the States. It doesn't have a name. It's just a card playing game. And the first one I pulled is the card of black magic and heartache and things being destroyed. And then the card that went with it is a very, very tough fate, very hard fate and fatal illness. So that doesn't look like, oh, I'm going to be the vice president of the United States. Me.
No. I got really bad cards too for him. I got I'm sorry, you weren't done?
No, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Go on.
That's okay. So we got the Knight of Swords here. So somebody's rushing in, heedless of the consequences. Then we get the Three of Cups. So they're going to enjoy it for 30 seconds. Then we get Five of Pentacles, out in the cold, don't belong, can't get what you want. The Devil, which is his boss. And then the Seven of Wands, which is, defending your hill or dying on your hill. So I think that, what I see for Mr. Vance? I see a cottage like up in Maine or something. He's just going to go isolate himself there because soon after this is all over, I'm pretty sure his wife's going to serve divorce papers on him. And he's just going to be like, "You're what? You're taking my kids back to India? Hello?" Like, I know she's not from India, but she is Indian heritage. So I think she's just going to look at him and go, you're ridiculous. You did nothing for us, and you kind of embarrassed us on a national stage. So yeah, we're leaving the country.
You know, I kind of feel like, though, that Vance is, that this whole thing is going to just destroy his career.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, he might get drugged into the legal arena, whatever his illegalities are, the many illegalities that has been brought up around the world. Whatever he gets in trouble for, I think that Vance may be right there with him, just by association.
Certainly for the, I just pulled a few more cards. I got the card I have for Kamala, Queen of Swords, the Four of Cups, which is I don't like this, and Empress, which is usually the card for Russia. So I think that from the moment that he joined the campaign, yes, he was doing illegalities, I think. Entertainment purposes only, YouTube. He was doing dirty stuff from the moment he stepped into the campaign, because Peter Thiel said, "Thou shalt do whatever DJT tells you to do." And, Vance was just like, "Why? I don't even like the guy." And Thiel said, "You'll never say that again in public, and you will do whatever he tells you." Because Thiel has him on a string for some reason. And so, Vance he looks particularly puffy to me these days, like he's taking something that just makes him puff. I don't know what that would be, but I don't think he's happy. I don't think he's going to get off scot-free. But I do think, we are talking the Democratic Party here, who will be, bringing a lot of these suits, or people from the Democratic Party. And that it's not going to be March when they put these cases out. I don't think it's going to be a little bit later. So he'll have time to go to that cabin in the woods.
So, Kathy, what do you got? I can see you're just ready to bust at the seams here. You've got something.
While you were doing that, I laid a spread on, will Tim Walz be vice president? And the card for him starts as this incredibly solid 10 of Pentacles with his incredibly solid wife and just working well with a woman. What's passing away is being out in the cold. What's coming up is, and this is when I reacted, celebrate. Good.
Yes.
Come on. And
come under the huppah. Yes.
Yes, it's soon.
Wow.
Yeah. And he feels, he's just been fighting, doing all kinds of stuff. But there are things, this is his environment, things coming at him really, really quickly. Mm-hmm. So vastly different.
I think
that's the call.
I think the same way he got picked up for VP is the way he's going to get picked up for VP. I think it's going to be like a very similar circumstance for him. Yeah.
Maybe he'll answer his phone.
You're singing Celebrate Good Times. I keep hearing that song. I've been hearing it for every time I think about Kamala, that comes up, and I see dancing in the streets. I see people, celebrating. Now, that's not necessarily coming up this week.
No.
But down the road, that's what I see. And anyway, so when you started singing that song, I thought, yeah, heard that. That's happening.
Yeah, very much.
We've got Waltz in, Vance out.
Yeah.
So that should answer the question, everybody.
Yeah.
That should be it. That should be it. We got it. We solved the question of the ages. We just don't know how it's going to happen. And nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody does. They may think they do, but
it's going to be a shocker.
It is going to be a shocker. And the weather is going to be, I think, the least of it. I think the weather is going to be the least of it.
But I think it's probably a good idea to have it inside.
Yeah, I do too. So on a slightly different note, I know a lot of people have speculated about the California fires, about, were they some sort, part of a terrorist plot or something like that. And then I've heard descriptions of how they started, and I thought, wow, that doesn't really sound like something you could plan. But there definitely were a couple of fires that were set by arson, because they've actually caught some of the people. But do we think there is really a connection between MAGA's like overall organization and the California fires? Is there any little...
I do not believe that.
Okay.
I don't get that at all. I mean, it's climate change. It's what we are creating these situations, and it's not just a regular run-of-the-mill climate. There's a huge drought in California. And lightning is usually what starts a lot of these fires. But it's not just California. Look at the southern states and along the East Coast and stuff. The weather that we've been having, it's because we have got to, the fossil fuel thing, get rid of it. And we have screwed up the environment in so many different ways that no, I think the fires in California, first of all, prayers go out to everybody in that.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, yeah.
But they're just, no, it's not, no.
Well,
This happening. Yes, there is some people that started fires. There's some arsonists out there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not a collective. They're not the mega group. They're not anything like that. They're just people there's a sickness. There's some people like to start things on fire. I mean,
well, I'll tell you why this really, really sizzles in my brain. So I think about that border deal that got quashed by Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wanted to keep the unrest at the border going because then when he comes in, he could fix it and be a big hero, and that would make him feel like he was a big man. And that's why this crosses my mind. Yes, I believe it was started out of nature and all the things that you said. There was a drought, this, that. But did they capitalize on it because they don't want Gavin Newsom and California to succeed because it's seemingly a blue state? California used to be a really red state. A lot of Republicans in California because there's a lot of money in California, and Republicans like that, and they like that lifestyle. But that's what tickled at my brain, is there's just like, are they taking advantage of that in some way and enhancing it so that they can use it for nefarious means? If
there's a way to do that, that's exactly what they would be doing. But they wouldn't be adding to the problem. They would just be acting like, yeah, it's your fault the place burned down because Trump said that he tried to give them a bunch of water and they didn't take it. What an asshole. That's not what happened. They could not pump the water out. They needed electricity. The fires were out there. It took away the electricity. They could not pump out the water. And that is the main big reason of why they didn't have the amount of water in the fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Trump said, I tried to give them a helping hand when I was president, and I tried to do this and that. And yeah, Gavin Newsom wouldn't go for it. Well, no, that's not at all what's going on there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. California is in a horrible situation. I mean, it's just all these people that have lost every single thing, and all the people, the last I heard, there was like 26 people that died, and there's going to be a whole lot more. But even at that is a minuscule compared to the amount of damage and devastation to the state and the houses and the businesses and just everything. And we've sent down from Washington State, we've sent down help as far as firemen and people to help fight the fires. And there's also people sending down clothes and food and just anything, because these people have just been, you can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I mean, they're just wiped out. They have absolutely nothing from these fires. It's just horrible. And for Trump to say the kind of things he says, it's just like when on the pandemic, he was going to withdraw any help from our state, from Washington State, because he didn't like our governor. Because our governor ran against him. I mean, it's just so stupid.
So petty. So petty. Yeah.
Doing the same damn thing.
Yeah. So, Kathy, do you have any thoughts on my conspiracy theory?
I think it is an amalgamation of many things, and I think there is a factor that's just bizarre that fires started pretty close to simultaneously in different places, and climate change. It's the area is overbuilt. There are water problems. Even if these had been absolutely naturally occurring fires, there's no way they could have been contained given how overbuilt everything is.
Yeah.
But I am with you, and so are my demon cards, that there is an element.
Okay.
There is an element, and maybe
Yes.
somebody. It sounds like, it looks like somebody got paid.
Yeah.
To do
Yeah,
this.
and all they had, all the big requirement was, you know, do they own a red hat? And if they do, just see if you can get them to do it. You know, I could. That's he's such a petty bastard. You know, he's such a petty bastard that I can just, it just kind of, in my head, it just kind of runs naturally that way. And he's got so much anger, and he's running on empty because he knows that he didn't actually win that election. So while he's got the power or the assumption that he did win the election, he's going to do as many messed up things as he can.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all out for revenge, definitely.
Yeah, he's such a creep. Okay, so on a different note, and to wrap things up here, because we're just about an hour, I'd just like to bring up a article that I found that was just really, really interesting. This came, I don't know which. This was CBS News republished this. It was from the AP, and the organization that put out this story was just, the headline that came up was just World. So I'm sorry, I don't know exactly which organization actually wrote this, but archaeologists uncovered some graves, and they ran DNA on the graves, and they looked at all the things that were around the skeletal remains. And it turns out that it revealed that Iron Age women were the ones running society, that matriarchal societies existed in the Iron Age. So it just said, female family ties were at the heart of social networks in Celtic society in Britain before the Roman invasion. Before the Roman invasion, a new analysis suggests. Boudica. Okay. Genetic evidence from a late Iron Age cemetery shows that women were closely related, while unrelated men tended to come into the community from elsewhere, likely after marriage. Anyway, so, you know, it was flipped, it was flipped. It wasn't that, women would travel after their men when they married them and change their communities, but the women in the communities were basically all related by blood. So they stayed there, and then they had to, if they didn't have enough men to marry, they'd have to bring men in to marry. And the men would willingly just, up and leave their families and come and live in those communities. And so this was, the Iron Age, folks, the Iron Age. It's a long ass time ago. I mean, yeah, really long time ago. So, and before the Romans. So imagine how pissed off they were when the Romans came to town. And they had to be good warriors, I bet, because, how do you protect all those people? Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a really, really, really nice little article to bring up. Let me see if I have any more really fun ones. Michelle Obama is going to skip the inauguration if it happens. She's not going. Good for you, Michelle. I knew that you were of superior intelligence. I think I had one, maybe. Did I have any other great? Oh, and I just want to know if there's any volunteers who would like to break the news to DJT that, who did he bring in? That Mel Gibson, John Voight, and Sylvester Stallone are not the cream of the crop in Hollywood anymore, that most Americans and probably most movie buffs around the world probably think they're already dead. So I don't think they're going to be really good ambassadors for you, but whatever.
They're ambassadors for what? For Hollywood or something? I mean,
yeah. Special envoys.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are they going to do? Announced on his social media site that the 3 actors would be his eyes and ears to the movie making town. Now, to me, that sounds like more muscle stuff, more blackmail, more bullying. It doesn't sound like he's really trying to revive Hollywood. But he said, of course, well, Hollywood hasn't been doing so well the last 4 years. Oh, since Biden's been in office, you think Hollywood's taken a hit? It would have nothing to do with those 2 big strikes that they went through due to AI, would it? Had nothing to do with that, but, yeah. So he's going to single-handedly revive a golden era in Hollywood. Yeah, I think Hollywood's got some other things on their mind right now. And another piece that I think is important is that the U.S. targets Novo Nordisk, Ozempic, and Wegovy for Medicare price talks. So they are continuing to speak to Medicare about price negotiations on some of these drugs that are so important for people who have diabetes. This is really, really important stuff for them. And as my daughter pointed out, well, if Medicare starts paying lower prices and just paying for some of these GLP-1 drugs, then the other insurance companies, the prices will come down with the pharmaceuticals, probably. And the other insurance companies will be more inclined to also pay for them. Not automatically, but more inclined. So, so there's a couple of things I just wanted to throw out that are a little bit happier note. And
wait a minute. Right now, insurance companies aren't paying for these.
Well, they charge pretty exorbitant prices if you can get them, and they also demand that you have like multiple diagnoses. Like they just don't believe that being pre-diabetic or pre-hypertensive or pre-this or pre-that, or even just only that, they just don't believe that really qualifies you to need that drug. They see it. Because Medicare has had a long-standing rule that they won't pay for weight loss surgery and weight loss drugs. And the thing is that these weight loss drugs actually help you treat and in some cases reverse diabetes. So they should pay for them.
Wow.
A lot of people
reverse diabetes. Amazing.
Yeah, some people, this would be really, really good for them to have these, access to these drugs. So.
But it doesn't affect the insulin thing. They're still keeping the insulin down to $35 a month.
Yeah. The pricing on insulin is not affected by this. In fact, the pricing on insulin and the success of getting that through is what is encouraging them to ask for negotiations on more drugs. Okay. There's a list of 15. So that's really good. And in the 25 drugs now subject to price reductions. Initially I thought the article said 15, but I guess it's 25. I'm very, very encouraged. So that's great. So do you guys have any last words before we say farewell to our awesome chatters? I'm just going to look at there.
Yeah, I mean, just get ready for the next, from now until Tuesday. I mean, we should be seeing and hearing bits and pieces. I know we're not going to get the whole picture right off the bat. But, I'm hoping we get to hear about the big fight at the rally. I'm looking forward to that. And, and we'll see what happens on the inauguration. And if for some bizarre reason it does happen, I don't want you guys to worry about it because it's not going to last. But I don't even want to go there because I just don't think that's what's going to happen. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. We are going to be okay. And please don't let this thing bring you down to the level of making yourself sick and upset and anxious over something that you just have no control over. Because maybe it will take longer for all these things to come out. I don't know. I just see that, who the orange one is as a blank space in my mind, and just doesn't work out. But we could all be wrong, and we all saw Kamala being president instead of him, and so I still see that. And I'm still told that, and this is what I mention every time. Yes, my spirit guides tell me that Kamala will be the president. They also tell me that Trump will not be inaugurated, but I don't know the timing. I don't, there's still, there's still up and
Pete Buttigieg candle.
Yes, I recognize.
But
you probably have one.
Don't come back on the next time we're on, and if it goes a different way, and blame us, or at least don't blame me for what I said, because I'm just repeating to you what I am told. Now, I'm not saying I understand it all. I'm just letting you know what I have been told by my spirit guides, and that has not changed the whole time I've been doing this, or a couple of years now. So
yeah,
they're, and thanks for coming today. And
yeah.
I hope it goes the way we said it's going to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Cleo. Thanks. And Kathy, do you have any kind of closing remarks?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. First off, everybody, please put your own sanity at the top of your priority list. And don't go watching 50 zillion videos. Stay away from people who are predicting things that make you go, oh my God, no. Don't listen to the news. Please spend time with people that you care about. Do really nice things for yourself. Please do not go out into crowds. Do not go out into crowds right now. And just look at your own environment. What do you have? Look at the next few days as maybe some really bad weather is going to come. And is there something that might be handy for you to have, like a lantern with batteries, or maybe you want blankets, or maybe you want, a way to recharge your devices in your car in case the power goes out, which I think it might in some places. Just know that whatever goes on the next few days is not definitive for the rest of the year. The astrology at the end of next week is actually really lovely. The astrology for most of the year is very, very personally empowering. And every reading I have done for every person has them moving into an incredibly good phase in their life. Not, oh my God, I'm living under a fascist dictatorship. So be careful. Treat your own needs as your priority, and please do things that make you happy. Please.
Yes. Very, very well said.
Wow.
Thank you very much for that message. That's great.
I love that.
Yeah. So we had some great comments and messages in the chat. I think I'm going to have to do a whole other show just on that. So for all of you who put those things in the chat, I will be jotting them all down because I think they're spectacular. And one in particular, because I also noticed it, is what Yvonne said. Did you notice the woman's voice whisper this thing or state at marker 251, at maker 251? 251. What would that be? I don't know, but I'll go back and look through and see if I can hear it. Then Cleo the seer said, but this thing in the 19th, that can anyone tell what she said? You can hear a woman's voice clearly. I heard it. I did hear it. And I thought God, do I have YouTube playing on another browser window or something? And I don't. So thanks, Sherry. Thank you very much. And,
wow. What are you talking about? Somebody was talking like behind me. I'm saying something and you hear another person's voice?
Well, Libby's always saying, well, if you hear my spirit guides' voices, let me know. So maybe it was somebody's spirit guide that just literally came through one of our microphones or something.
Well, mine are pretty loud. And
yes.
I'm pretty
maybe it was one of yours.
My spirit guide.
Yeah. So maybe there was something going on there. So you heard it here first, guys. I know that Sybil Harmony has her glowing purple orb, and Libby has her guides that speak out loud, and now the Cool Crone has this too with Cleo the seer. So
yay!
We're all very special in our way. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for your questions. And I am going to note them all down because they're pretty darn good questions, and they're things that I want to know about too. And Kathy, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll come back and be with us again, because it was really,
Kathy,
really fun.
This was great. Kathy just fit right in and
yes.
knows
yes.
what the hell she's talking about. I love this. It's like I've known you for a year here on YouTube or something. It's really great. Yes, thank you so much, and I do hope you come back.
Yeah.
Oh, I've loved it. Thank you. Yeah. Well,
Really fun.
people kept saying people kept confusing me with the cool Crone. I finally looked her up and went, oh, I could see why.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are very similar in the way you're on top of it. You're very good, both of you.
Great. Yeah, this was a hoot. This was great. Okay, everybody. Well, we're going to sign out now, and I'll be sure to notify everyone the next time we're doing a PoliTarology, and you know what to do. Okay. Bye, everybody. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Take care.